Episode 84 of the Marketing Life Podcast. This is Taylor Timothy, your host. And today, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you my website creation checklist. So all those things that you need to have when creating a website from start to finish. So if you guys want to download this, it's in the link. Other than that, let's dive in. So guys, as far as the website creation goes, one thing I want you guys all to know when it comes to your website, it is the end goal. Realize that. You want all of your customers to go to your website and buy your products. So a lot of people get caught up with followers and things like that, but my true question is how many buyers are they? How many buyers do you have on your list? So that's why I talk about your website and why I feel like it's super important that you drive all of your traffic to your website. So guys, let's talk about the website creation checklist. As far as the website creation checklist goes, what I want you guys to realize is the goal of your website is to convert customers into buyers. So a lot of people get caught up with how many followers do I have and things like that. But my question is how many buyers do you have? How many buyers do you have coming to your website and things like that? It's all about the buyers and actually making the sell. So focus on the end goal when it comes to your website. So going through this checklist here, setting up your site. So if you're like starting from scratch, obviously you're going to pick a domain, and I always recommend .coms. There's those like .net, .marketing, .us and things like that. But all in all, I'm all about those .coms. It's just my own personal opinion and my own personal preference. So I feel like people are still in the transition of all those other things. And if you're like, hey, my website's .us, people are going to be like, what? Or .marketing or .biz. Like people have yet to fully adapt to that. And so that's where I'm still pushing the .coms. The next thing you're going to pick is your web host. So you have your domain and then you have your web host. The host is like the server. And I recommend WP Engine if you're doing a WordPress website. In my opinion, it's the best hosting, best I'm not going to sit here and preach it, but that's who I pick and that's who I use. The next thing is find a theme that works. So there's tons of themes out there you can buy. There's like Thrive, there's Divi, there's some that I don't even know yet. But figure out what works best for you and what you can create over and over again without custom coding as well. The goal is to find a theme that can do everything that you need and want it to do without having to custom code. And on top of that, I promise you, if you spend money on a theme, it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money. The next thing you need to do is create a consistent feel. So you guys hear me preach this a lot. Not too many colors, same buttons, same different thing like that. But figure out how you can create a consistent feel across the board. You don't want to go from one page to another page and be like, am I still on the same website? So make sure everything stays consistent across the board. And so one of the things I always say is like the goal, like I said at the beginning, the goal is to convert, not look sexy. Like if your website looks sexy and it doesn't convert, like what's the point? Do you want a car that starts every time and drives you down the street and back all the freaking time? Or do you want a car that looks really sexy, but you can't even start it, right? So what's the point? So like I said, the goal of your website is to convert. So some things that you need on your website is you need to have pixels. You need to make sure you have like Webmaster Tools, the Facebook pixel, the Google Paid Ads pixel if you are doing that, Google Analytics. Make sure you have all of those pixels and codes in your header of your website. The next thing is to ensure that you have social proof on your site. I talk about social proof a lot. Make sure you have those testimonials on your website, guys. If you don't have testimonials yet, the one thing I always recommend, go work for free until you at least have 4 to 6 different testimonials that you can put on your website of people that actually love you. Next thing, set up your blog. So if you're going to be doing a blog, make sure you get that sucker set up. The next thing I always do is put the site map link in my footer. That's just a little SEO tip I've heard that you need to do is make sure you have your sitemap in the footer of your website. The next thing you need to do is create conversions in Google Analytics and Facebook. So if you don't have these conversions set up properly, You need to know, because this is how you're going to track how your website's working and how it's performing. So the next thing I always say is the little things. And you're like, what does that mean? What are the little things? I promise you guys, phone number, email, and you need a link to your social media accounts. So the reason why I say all these things is because I have gone to websites before and I can't find a freaking phone number to call if I want to call them, right? Maybe I don't want to fill out a form. I need an email. Maybe I just want to send them an email. Make sure that those things are visible on the website and have people can get easy access to it. If they go to your contact page, make sure your phone number is visible with your email. And the reason why I say link to your social media accounts, because I talk about, the goal is to convert people on your website. The truth is, the reason why you should link to your social media accounts is just to show that you're like real, right? So a lot of times people won't link to their social media accounts, and if they can't find them, sometimes people are like, is this company even real? So it's just a way that you can create validity for yourself. The next thing is setting up your website for lead generation. So a lot of times people set up their websites the way they think, the way they want, and things like that. But the truth is, you need to set it up for the customer. Your site needs to be designed around your customer and making the user experience work. So the reason why I bring this up is a lot of people don't give stuff away for free. So I preach it all the time, guys. Ebooks, guides, audits, videos, pictures. You need to have different offers that you can give to these people when they come to your website. The other thing is you need to redirect all of your opt-ins to thank you pages. You need to link your opt-in forms to your CRM. And then you need to make sure you're nurturing them after they come through and download those different things. So those 4 things are the most important thing that you can be doing on your website, is setting that sucker up for lead generation and giving people free stuff and then tracking it. So a lot of times people are like, well, I created an offer and it didn't work, so I stopped doing it. And I'm like, how many offers did you create? Oh, I just created one and it didn't work. Well, welcome to online marketing, dude. The thing is, online marketing takes time and testing and a lot of testing. And I promise, guys, that it works. Like, I've seen it work for me. And I promise you guys, if you implement it into your business, it will work. It's being persistent and it's willing to fail and try again. That's the beauty about online marketing. So set that website up for lead generation. So here's just a couple things that can help. Some people like the Facebook Messenger chat bot thing. You can put that on your website. It pops up in the right-hand side and it links to Messenger and people can chat with you directly if they decide to message you that way. The other things that can help as well as far as like SEO goes, just make sure you have like proper title and descriptions on your page and make sure your website's actually set up for those types of things. The other thing is things that are going to help in the long run is A/B testing. So creating other landing pages that you can test against each other. Submit your webmaster index. So basically inside of Webmaster Tools, you can link and give Google Webmaster Tools all of your site, basically your sitemap, and you can start indexing your website for SEO type stuff. And some simple plugins that I use on my websites is Yoast and WP Smush. So Yoast basically helps link up your website to Google Webmaster Tools. There's a million ways you can connect it. But yeah. And then following that, you have WP Smush that can help basically smush your images and optimize your images for you. And last but not least, guys, the little test I use for when I use website creation. There's a website that's called developers.google.com/speed/page speed/insights. That's a mouthful. Just Google it. But basically, it's a tool that you guys can use that Google offers that lets you see how well your site is in their eyes as far as mobile optimization and desktop optimization as well. Is this tool perfect? Honestly, no. I see it vary all the time in different locations, if I'm at Starbucks or my parents' house, like the speeds are always different. But for me, I just use it as a tool to kind of gauge what's going on. And I've yet to see a perfect 100 score. So like I said, I use it as just kind of a reference, and I always shoot for a 70 plus score. So on mobile and desktop. So go check that out once you built out your website and see what you need to do to optimize your site just a little bit better. So thanks guys for listening to episode 84, the website creation checklist. Guys, if you don't have a website yet, welcome to 2019. You need a website. They're super easy to create. I promise you, if you take my course, you can have your website up in easily 24 hours if you put your mind to it. So it's one of those things that I believe every business should have. Every person that is an entrepreneur should have their own website with their own domain name. For example, I'm TaylorTimothy.com. If you're John Doe, you should have johndoe.com if you can. But it's just one of those things that you need to have for you and your business. So thanks guys for listening to episode 84, and peace.